Is it even legal? The Sperry Mills site and Vallejo Marine Terminal Orcam project proposed for the Vallejo waterfront raises a number of questions. Who actually owns the land that VMT occupies? Is this public land that was improperly privatized? Let's take a look at some of the history and issues surrounding lease documents for the property. We know from historical records that in the 1860s, not long after California became a state, this site started as a grain shipping operation owned by A.D. Starr, which later became a flour mill that was acquired and operated by the Sperry Flour Company. Mergers and acquisitions turned it into General Mills in the 1930s. But do we really know who owns the land previously occupied by this flour mill? City of Vallejo records show that General Mills was leasing approximately 30 waterfront acres from the city, land that was entrusted to Vallejo by the state of California. The only written lease had a start date of January 1, 1989, with a term of 25 years and the city of Vallejo as landlord and owner. From the lease, we know exactly which land was being rented by General Mills from the city. In any rental or lease agreement, the contract that defines the premises being rented is fully defined in what is referred to as the legal description. This is a technical real estate document that may be difficult to visualize. So here's a plot of the leased area on the map obtained from the Solano County Assessor's Office. But the real question is, why do we refer to this as a zombie lease? In 1989, the lease was never recorded with Solano County by the city of Vallejo, aka the landlord. Then, in 2007, 3 years after General Mills moved out, a memorandum of lease was signed by both parties, retroactively ratifying the 1989 lease. An 18-year-old questionable lease was back from the dead. 2 months after the memorandum of lease was recorded, a company named Cherokee Brooks Street, LLC, assumed the lease from General Mills with the consent of the city of Vallejo. Cherokee Brooks then used their leasehold interest and real property as collateral for a $7.1 million loan. Cherokee Brooks defaulted on the loan in short order, and the bank foreclosed. In December 2010, the bank, Bank Midwest, sold the leasehold interest at auction for a mere $200,000 on a property originally mortgaged for $7.1 million. A pretty good buy.
Oh yeah.
The purchaser was, curiously or coincidentally named, California Cherokee Brooks Return, LLC, a wholly different company than the original owner. Was this deceptively similar name part of a plan? Just coincidence? Or a nefarious plot to sow confusion? By 2012, the city of Vallejo and VMT Orcam had already been in secret talks for the acquisition of the General Mills property, not to mention clandestine involvement of members of the city council through the now infamous Mare Island Straits Economic Development Committee. A confusing web surrounds ownership of the General Mills property. In 2012, the original lease was assigned to VMT with City of Vallejo consent. 1 day after the lease was assigned, VMT and the City of Vallejo agreed to amend the lease. Changes were made to the legal description, and the original 30-acre lease was changed to just 10 acres. How is it that VMT can claim ownership of 20 acres that was previously only leased by General Mills from the City of Vallejo? The answer is dust in the wind. Actually, it's more like a land grab, or a very nice gift, a gift of public property. If you're feeling confused, you should be. Can approval be given to this project if it's not clear they own the land? Was the Vallejo City Council authorized to give away 20 acres? And if General Mills owned the land in the first place, why were they leasing it from the city? There are more questions than answers surrounding land ownership in connection with the VMT Orcam project. But what does it all mean?
Uh-oh.